I don't know what the heck's going on here.
Breaking news, and it's bad news for the Milwaukee Brewers. The reigning MVP, Christian Yelich, will be out for the remainder of the season after fracturing his kneecap on a foul ball. The Brewers continue to battle for a wild card spot. I can't imagine any worse pain than fracturing your kneecap.
If you just touch your kneecap, it kind of gives you the heebie-jeebies. Like if you move it around, right now.
It's like when do the doctors still have the hammer thing where they check your reflexes? Does that still happen?
I don't think it does anything. It just trying to make them look like they're
weird.
They're busy.
This has been Medical Talk here on SportsCenter with Shane and Dan, presented by Tim Hortons. So we'll get to more with Christian Yelich. Breaking news about Antonio Brown too, but we actually begin with the Toronto Blue Jays just looking for a victory.
Yeah, it was a big game for TJ Zleek. You know why? He was making his first career start. The 20th starting pitcher for Toronto this season. That's the most since the 1967 New York Mets. So let's see how this first pitch goes in his first career start. Yikes! Yeah, Mookie Betts took him yard, first pitch. His 28th homer of the season, 1-0 Boston. Toronto's lost 7 in a row. Just 18 games left. The Jays are 11 losses shy of 100 on the season. Bottom 3, Kevin Biggio.
1-2 again.
New mayor of Tappy Town. Solo shot his 13th of the year. Snaps an 0 for 11 slump. 4th inning. Just cracking an ice-cold drink. Reese McGuire. Okay. His 5th home run of the season. Jays take a 2-1 lead. Top 5. Betts.
Tim's very upset that I opened up a can of Tim Hortons brand coffee.
You should open up a can of something else on him.
I should.
Vladdy Guerrero Jr., nice play. He threw him out from his butt. Still in the 5th. Ooh, if you listen closely, there's thunder. You can hear coming through our studios because we're having a wicked storm outside. That's been Stormwatch.
We may be all sleeping together in the studio. Gino's going to get an interesting surprise when he shows up for That's Hockey on Wednesday.
It'll be That's Boating, considering how big this storm's going to be. Rowdy Tellez shot. The Jays snap a 7-game losing skid.
We want to show you this Yankees-Tigers game that took place on Tuesday because New York went in 5 homers back of the Twins for the Major League lead and the all-time record for a team. Brett Gardner with his 2nd of the game. This is in the 2nd inning.
2-2 from Alexander.
Then in the 4th, Gleyber Torres. He's got 36 home runs on the season. And then in the top of the 5th, Didi Gregorius.
And now this one's drilled.
That's his 15th of the year. Home run number 274 in the season for New York, and the 8th multi-home run game of the year for Didi Gregorius. Now, despite this display of power by the Yankees, Detroit came all the way back to lead 10-8 until Edwin Encarnacion hammers his 33rd of the season. Yanks tie the Twins for the Major League lead in team home runs and the all-time record, and it didn't take long to pass him. Gregorius, 2nd of the game. Next batter, 6th of the night for the Yankees. So they passed Minnesota with their 276th home run. Despite New York's 6 home runs, it was 11-11 at the bottom of the 9th, with a man on second, Jordy Mercer, walks it off for Detroit. Yeah, they won this thing. 1, that's the magic number for the LA Dodgers to clinch the NL West. A loss by the D-backs against the Mets would get it done. Or the Doyers could take care of business themselves. Against the lowly Baltimore Orioles.
Had some good games. Did well.
LA facing the 2nd worst team in all of baseball.
Completely different now that I'm
already 1-0 in the first 2 on Corey Seager.
Well, right center.
2nd 3-run home run in as many games. 15th of the year. Doyers up 4-0 early. And then in the 3rd, Seager again at the plate. Runner on. That's also gone. Opposite field power. Seager, 8 ribbies in the last 2 games, 16 long balls on the year. 5th inning, their top prospect, Gavin Lux. What a name. First big league home run. And they're trying to get the ball back for him. Why would you ever give it back to them? Why would you do that? I would hold on to it forever. Dodgers win 7-3 the final, lock up their 7th straight NL West title.
D-backs and Mets, Eduardo Escobar entered 5th in the league with 110 runs batted in, 1 more than Pete Alonso. In the first, Escobar. RBI single to left. He went 2 for 4 with 2 RBI. So he moves 3 ahead of Alonso. Alonso struck out in his first 3 at-bats. He's up again in the 8th. 34-game on-base streak on the line. And Alonso strikes out. Avoids the golden sombrero, though. His streak ends at 34. Justin Wilson in for the 9th instead of the struggling Edwin Diaz. Got the final 4 batters. And ends it with a strikeout. Mets needed a win. They got it. They hold off the D-backs for the 2nd straight game. They take it 3-2.
Well, I mentioned Milwaukee and Christian Yelich in the first against the Marlins, his old team. And just fouls it off his own leg, off the top of his right knee. He fractures his right kneecap on that play, and that is the play that will force him to miss the remainder of the season. Horrible news for Milwaukee as they push for the postseason. Still scoreless in the 2nd. Hernan Perez, 2-run shot.
And she's gone.
Brewers up 1 in the 8th. Starlin Castro. This is going deep to center. And this is a game-tying home run. So we go to the 9th. Brewers now up by 1. Drew Pomeranz, a friend of SportsCenter with Jay and Dan. Just 3 career saves. Gets Lewis Brinson swinging. First save since 2015. Big win for the Brewers. Big loss in terms of Christian Yelich. Yes, this is Christian Yelich and the season he is having. In fact, he already has way more home runs this year than he did in his NL MVP award-winning season last year, in which he had 36. Brewers have 18 games left in their season, with 2 more in Miami, followed by 3 in St. Louis coming up.
So Washington and Chicago, they're in the 2 wildcard spots. Brew Crew fighting to catch the Cubs with the Phillies D-backs. And yes, the New York Mets still in contention. Arizona has 2 more games against the Mets. The American League wild card, just a 3-horse race: Rays, A's, and Indians. And the team with the easiest sked of those 3, hands down, the A's, because once they're done this week's series with the Astros, they don't see a team with a winning record the rest of the regular season. So the Tribe will pull even, actually pull within a half game of the A's if they beat the Angels Tuesday. They're up 8-0. So I think it's going to happen. And after getting destroyed by the Astros Monday, Oakland returned the favor Tuesday in their attempt. Yeah, I already knew that. I'm reading these things without pre-reading them. We've seen enough. Still to come, the latest on Antonio Brown, and he's now facing some serious allegations. That's next. Okay, I mentioned the Antonio Brown news. Here it is. The Patriots wide receiver has been accused of sexually assaulting his former trainer. The lawsuit, filed on Tuesday in southern Florida, claims that Brown assaulted a woman named Brittany Taylor 3 separate times, twice in 2017 and another in May 2018. Brown and his legal team have denied the allegations, saying they will pursue all legal remedies to not only clear his name, but to also protect other professional athletes against fake accusations. ESPN's Adam Schefter.
The NFL did not know about this. It was unaware of this particular situation until tonight. And so this is unfolding in front of the NFL's eyes, just as it is unfolding in front of the eyes of everybody else. The NFL will have to gather as much information as it can, as quickly as it can, and try to make a decision. Now, tonight, the NFL has not rendered any comment whatsoever on the Antonio Brown situation. But when you speak to people around football, they have wondered whether the NFL and Commissioner Roger Goodell could go ahead and place Antonio Brown on the commissioner exempt list, which would give everybody time to sort out some of the details of this case, to figure out what did and didn't happen, and then to make a more educated decision with the benefit of time. Again, another person said the commissioner exempt list at this point in time, it's premature to say that, but I think there are other people who think that could come into play here. We'll see how it plays out this week, depending on what the league decides.
Now, included in the lawsuit, a series of text messages Brown allegedly sent the accused in which he bragged about the incident.
And according to ESPN's Josina Anderson, Brown intends to countersue for civil extortion. The two met when they both attended Central Michigan, met at a Bible study group, and Brown rehired her in 2017 to assist in physical training. That's what he claims. After signing Brown on Monday, the Patriots have reportedly traded wide receiver Demaryius Thomas to the Jets for a 2021 6th-rounder. Thomas was dealing with a hamstring injury, was inactive for the Patriots in Week 1. We should say this trade is not official yet, so it may be interesting to see how this Brown news now plays into this Demaryius Thomas news. By the way, before Tuesday's trade for Demaryius Thomas, the last time the Jets and Patriots made a trade was for Bill Belichick back in 2000.
Yeah, a while ago. During their season-opening loss to the Titans, star wideout Odell Beckham Jr. sported a very expensive watch. Beckham plans to wear it again next Monday against the Jets. The NFL stated that it violated a league rule that prohibits players from wearing hard objects. On Monday, Beckham tweeted, "If it ain't one thing, it's another." The league was expected to address the issue with Beckham and the Browns, but not impose any discipline. Now, the watch has been getting a lot of attention. It's now come down in price. It's said to be $190,000, and it's plastic, so it might just be a swatch. We don't know at this point.
Originally, we estimated it was $350,000.
Yeah.
Those estimates came from our TSN resident watch expert, Brian the Mood Dude Mudrick, who always wears a massive timepiece. By the way, only 500 of those watches were made, and Richard Mille, the brand, they made a point of saying that Beckham is just a customer, not a brand ambassador. If a guy spends 200 grand on one of your watches,
and he
is
wears
he
it,
really just a customer?
and
Really?
he wears it in the field, and it gets this much attention.
Don't you want to just say, yeah, you know what? He is a brand ambassador, actually. He got us a lot of attention. He's playing soccer again. It's Nations League action. Taking on Cuba, Alphonso Davies was in action. Would you like to see that? You will next.
Happy birthday, Dad.
I'm pretty good at math, even though I failed grade 10 math.
And thanks for the laughs.
I got myself a birthday treat at Tim Hortons on Tuesday, a steep tea and a hash brown. That's a birthday tradition in Canada.
Yeah. Everybody gets steep tea and a hash brown, even the kids.
Why don't we get birthdays off work? Shouldn't that be something? I will elect whoever's running in the next federal election if that's their platform.
And that's their only platform. That's it.
Christian Yelich going to miss the remainder of the year. Fractured his kneecap on a foul ball. Yelich sits third in baseball with 44 home runs. The other stories were Dodgers clinched the NL West and the Blue Jays won.
I mentioned that Canada was in action in international soccer. It's the CONCACAF Nations League. There is Alphonso Davies of Bayern Munich. Canadian star had 3 shots in Canada's 6-0 win over Cuba last Saturday, but no goals. Here, the 20-year-old smashes home his 5th career international goal, and Canada's up 1-0 later. Davies again. Plus set up Kyle Larin. It's over the net. Canada wins 1-0. They will take on the USA at BMO in Toronto. In their next match, that'll be October the 15th.
The Jannies, I thought producer Tim would have this changed to a storm Jannies graphic, because we're being pelted right now. We might have to take a boat home. Vladdy Guerrero Jr., great play.
Did you drive any tractors on your birthday?
No.
What else? You just got the hash brown, and this will be Delino DeShields Jr. Beautiful.
Had a steak. Bit of risotto.
Made it yourself?
Nah,
Josh Reddick to right. Chad Pinder, who sounds like he should be a bass player in a death metal band.
The way things have gone for the Astros.
Oh, Pinder, unbelievable on bass for
He usually is doing the robbing.
five-knuckle death punch.
The 2-1 pitch.
Scott Kingery, deep fly. Ronald Acuna makes the catch, brings the ball back into play, and then drops it. If he had it for like a second longer, he would have got credit for the catch. Instead, Kingery's like, I'm not stopping. Inside the park home run.
That's heads-up base running.
Yeah.
Though, at any point when you're running bases, are you looking down?
Yeah, some people watch their feet.
That's dangerous. Brian O'Haron drops these. Wearing Mario Lemieux, number 66.
Supposed to watch the double play by the Columbus Clippers.
That was
Ernie
nice.
Clement behind the back flip to Andrew Velasquez.
What a great name for a young man, Ernie Clement. Sounds like a CBC radio host from the 60s. Will Myers to right center. Nick Castellanos. Yeah, we'll take that. We'll take it. And that was the Jannies. So nice. You are how old today? 56 years old.
Yeah.
Man, you
I'm
look
almost
good.
at retirement.
You look great.
Because we're like Canada's public broadcaster. We get full pension, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, a full government pension.
At 60.
Absolutely. That's what I was told when we re-signed here, that we got to lock in.
We said, we want the Mansbridge deal.
Yeah, give us the Mansbridge. They were like, no problem. And then we signed, and then we're like, is it in here? Like, yeah, it's there.
This
You'll
page
find out when you retire how
This
good it is.
Page is blank.
Yeah.
Yeah, we fill it in later.
I don't think we'll be getting that pension.
No.
Oh, well. Oh, well. Hey, when we come back, stop me if you've heard this before, but we don't know who's going to start between the pipes for the Oilers.
Happy birthday, Dan.
Too good.
And thanks for the laughs.
Mike Smith will make $2 million with the Oilers this season, less than half of what Mikko Koskinen will make, but that doesn't mean Smith enters the season as Edmonton's number 2 goaltender. In fact, their new head coach, Dave Tippett, says the competition's wide open and the 37-year-old just has to prove he's still got it.
That's all you want as a goalie, is to get an opportunity to play and to help the team. And I think both guys are hungry to prove they belong in this league and can help this team win on any given night. So we're going to work together to be the best we can be. I think I played some of my best hockey at the end of the season last year in the playoffs. So I think, you know, you go in the summer feeling good about where your game's at. And, you know, as an older player, you got to have a pretty good handle on what needs to be done to, you know, to keep you at the level you've been playing at.
Well, Mike Smith, the stats back you up. His save percentage in the playoffs was .917. Yes, they got beaten 5 by the Avs, but he was amazing.
Remember going into that series and everyone said, well, Calgary's Achilles heel is their goaltending, and he was the best player they had. He was fantastic in the postseason. And it's so fascinating for Oilers fans and Flames fans because you've got Mike Smith and James Neal joining the Oilers this year, Cam Talbot, Milan Lucic joining the Flames. They're just going to be watching the other team's games and hoping those guys aren't successful. But I think they might be. I think this change of scenery is going to be good for all 4 of those players.
I guess this shouldn't come as a surprise, but Max Domi, he was one on our podcast a few weeks ago. He said Mike Smith is probably the best athlete at any sport if you took him out of this sport.
Wow. I mean,
Yeah.
And also, if there's going to be a brawl,
I know.
I want Mike Smith on my team.
Yeah. Hey, the Senators held their charity golf tournament on Tuesday ahead of training camp. Hey, it's Chris Phillips. Ottawa finished last place in the NHL with just 64 points last season. They've missed the playoffs and back-to-back. Hey, it's Chris Phillips! In back-to-back years for the first time since the mid-90s.
Can you guys be a playoff team this season?
I'm going to take my time answering that. I definitely think if the players step up to the plate, we can surprise some people. I think the worst is behind us. I've said that many times. And at the same time, we're going to put the onus on them and this coaching staff to see where this team can be at the end of the year.
It seemed like it, and he said it, he took his time. It seemed like it took a really long time for Pierre Dorion to answer that question. Let's find out just exactly how long.
Can you guys be a playoff team this season?
I'm going to take my time answering that.
I thought it
Okay.
was a full 5 seconds. I did.
I don't care what your position is with a team, and that question is asked. Do you not automatically just say yes?
Or just, I like our chances. I like
Yes.
the guys in the room. I think the guys we put together here are fantastic. I put them together. I put this team together. Yes, I think we can. Even though he knows in his heart of hearts it's probably not going to happen. When you want to just send a message to your players that you believe they could do it, because anything could happen.
Anything can happen.
It's sports. That's why they play the game.
You know what Kevin Garnett said?
Anything is
Anything is
possible.
possible.
That's who Pierre Dorion needs as his assistant GM, Kevin Garnett. He apparently wants to be a front office guy, starting hockey. Devils have re-signed center Pavel Zacha to a 3-year, $6.75 million deal. Zacha was a restricted free agent, 13 goals last season, career high, 6th overall pick in 2015. So if you're wondering who is going to be the first restricted free agent to sign and set the market, turns out it's Zacha.
You got to read that quote.
Okay, this is crazy because just days ago, Monday in fact, Devils GM Ray Shero said this about Zacha. Said this to the Associated Press. I don't give an expletive if he signs with the KHL or if he signs with Brampton. I don't give an expletive where. We hold his rights. And then he signed a day later, so I guess Zacha was a little afraid of Shero.
Hey, Alex Ovechkin took a break from his normal job to help at a local Washington, D.C. grocery store. The reason? The release of his cereal, Oreos. He had some fun.
Attention, giant shoppers, don't forget your Oreos at 8. All right, see you guys on the ice. Bye.
I've always wanted to make the announcement. Puke in aisle 3. Puke in aisle 3. So he greeted shoppers. He checked some people out. He was really scraped up from that bike crash.
He crashed his bike in
So you
his
can see
neighborhood.
cuts on his arms, cuts on his nose.
Must have gone over the bars. Ovi also then stopped at a children's hospital right after that. Made a surprise visit.
Brought more cereal.
I imagine he must have had some with him. Probably just in his pockets. Sergei Bobrovsky has a new team, also has a new mask. This picture was posted on artist David Gunnarson's Instagram account. Gunnarsson has designed masks for other goaltenders like Cam Talbot, Ben Bishop, and Peter Mrazek. It's a great-looking mask, Dan, but I have this question for Mr. Gunnarsson. Where is the tiny picture on the back of the mask of Sergei Bobrovsky in a police uniform?
Hey,
Wouldn't that be
Gunnarsson,
cool?
you blew it.
Or maybe he could do an alternate mask, and maybe we could sincerely send this to Dave Gunnarsson. Do an alternate mask where it's just a police hat on top, and then just Bobrovsky's face on the bottom.
Gunnarsson, we're big
Come
fans
on.
of your work. You got to come through on this one. I do like the brick wall, though.
Very cool. Very cool.
During Saturday's U.S. Open final, Bianca Andreescu's coach, Sylvain Bruno, believed in the 19-year-old's mental fortitude as she faced her stiffest competition. Despite Serena's comeback in the second set, the Montreal native knew Bianca would persevere against her idol.
She was not totally aware of all of her strength and the gift that she has. It was somewhere, but I think she needed a little bit of help to find it. But that's her gift. It's not mine. It's totally hers. We have an unbelievable connection. Very on the practice court, in life, and during matches. I think we've connected really, really well. She's won her first Grand Slam, and I think she's already said loud and clear she wants to win more. I think we all heard that. It's going to be quite a mandate to that journey that she's into, and to be with her and do it right. So I would say that, yeah, I mean, obviously it's very different than a year ago where we were in a totally different situation.
Now,
Serena really wanted to just get the heck out of there.
Bianca was on all the morning shows, and she was on the Jimmy Fallon's show on Tuesday night, and she asked for Drake to send her a message. That hasn't
Champagne
happened.
Poppy. She said, shut me out, Champagne Poppy. Hasn't happened yet?
Nope. So, Drake, we know you watch every single morning. Do her a solid.
With his OVOs.
You know what? Ovechkin really needs to win the cup now so he can eat those out of the cup.
Oh, yeah, that would be very cool. He really did look rough, though. That was a nasty bike accident.
Yeah. Be safe on those bikes.
Yes, please do.
Still to come. So just a little sneak peek into what we've been hearing all show. Producer Tim, he's produced a few shows.
Oh, yeah. Long time. 50, 60 years of producing.
So the entire show he's been like, okay, guys, take your time on this item. And then he'll be like, okay, speed up, speed up.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like he's in charge of a roller coaster for the first time.
He is. He's producer Tim is a carny.
That explains a lot of things.
It really does.
Now he's just yelling.
Yeah, now he's very upset at us. And it's all due to the torrential rainfall that's outside of our studio. Again, if you never hear from us again, it's because the studio flooded. And where will Gino do That's Hockey on Wednesday? From his garage, where he makes his tomato sauce. The Jay and Dan Podcast. Fresh new episode. Andy Roddick, 2003 U.S. Open champion, talks about the 2019 Women's Champion Bianca Andreescu and discusses his wife Brooklyn Decker's crush on me. New Jersey Devils forward Nico Hischier went back to Switzerland to play a little prank on a young Swiss hockey team. This looks like it's going to be good stuff.
Dat können wir machen.
Muss mitmachen?
Ja.
Hast du einen Stock?
Ja, ja.
Gut. Okay, komm, mach mit. Ich gehe aus Alimolo,
Vladdy Gambaro Jr. Gambaro.
Great diving stop by Guerrero.
Vladdy Jr. gets the highlight of the night.
Fired the ball to first.
Very nice.
That's a terrific play by Vladdy.
Sure was, Dan Schulman.
Well, Vladdy's got great hands, and he's got a terrific arm.
That Nico Hischier prank tape was so staged.
Yeah.
So
producer Tim, in our You Blew It segment, he blew it by putting that in the show. You struggled with English during the Dodgers on-cam. You couldn't say the Doyers could take care of business themselves.
Nope.
In the Mets pack, I said Pete Alonso struck out 4 times. Not true. He struck out 3 times. Finished the game 0 for 4. I showed a ground out and said he struck out.
Oh.
You blew it during the Jannies. You called Ryan O'Hearn.
Yeah.
And you said Pavel Zacha was the first RFA signed and will set the market. Zach Werenski signed with the Jackets on Monday.
Yeah, but he's a defenseman. So,
and
big difference.
Oh, yeah. And I blew it at another Sharpie incident.
It's because we're not using Sharpie brand Sharpies.
I know, they're fake. They're Slarpies.
And we're still waiting for the Sharpie people to send us our Jay and Dan Sharpies. Those are great when they sent us all those Jay and Dan Sharpies.
So now we have to go out into the world and find our way through those rivery streets.
Oh, man, it's floody waters out there. Floody waters?
Muddy? Muddy.
Could take care of business themselves.